Hold on to your butts because we have a brand spanking new H-1B documentary to show you.
I think we found Suite 78 right here, pretty cramped quarters for 7 workers, wouldn't you say?
So where are the workers located?
They're in the office actually.
So it's Suite 78?
I don't know the exact address. I can check with you.
Well, it's interesting because we already checked and that suite is actually just a mailbox. So are the workers located in the mailbox?
No, not.
So where are all the workers?
Let's get into it. Welcome back to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. Happy H-1B registration day, everybody. To celebrate, I got you a gift, especially you, the scammers, wherever you are. I hope you're watching. And I hope that you will go over to my other channel, Sara Gonzales TX, and watch part 2 of my H-1B visa scam documentary series. We just dropped it today, and we're going to talk about it. I'll go through some of it, but you're not going to get it in full, and you're not going to get the full picture, the extent of just how gross it all is, unless you go over to that channel and subscribe while you are there. We are releasing that exclusively on that channel. So as soon as you're done with this video, go over there, watch it, comment, smash the like button, and subscribe to @SaraGonzales TX. Guys, I was just excited to get this out because we are drowning in all things H-1B abuse related. Like the Google documents that my team has that we are trying to sift through and just find the time to get out and go film, or find the time to like edit it all together because we've got it filmed, but we haven't had a chance to edit it because we've been too busy researching, because all we do is uncover more and more and more fraud and abuse and loopholes and scams. So I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but this is one of the biggest scandals of our generation, is the amount of people who have come in here fraudulently. I mean, we are talking about millions of American jobs at this point that are being stolen by people who have come in here fraudulently. And you're lucky if they even have the credentials that they claim that they have, because oftentimes they don't even have those credentials. So we've showed you so many different aspects of this particular scandal. We showed you the houses fronting as businesses. And I don't know, it's like, you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to register a business to a home. Yeah, I know. But the problem is that these houses were fronting as businesses, and these businesses at the home were supposed to include, sometimes up to 27, 30 H-1B workers at that particular worksite location, except there were no workers. Curious. Now, I wanted to show this next part, which I personally believe is the bigger piece here. These companies that are posing like they're legit software companies. By the way, you can usually spot them online because you'll go to their website and the website looks like shit, which is crazy for software designers. Their websites should be the best looking, most polished websites. You got a bunch of IT programmers, a bunch of computer experts. That website should look good. And they always look like crap. So we go to visit these software companies, and one after the other, the lights are off, no one is home, no sign of life. So I went looking. I keep posing the same question. Where are the workers? I went looking for the workers.
In looking into some of these companies, I think there may be more than meets the eye. Why not check in and see what we find? This one is Tech Bits on the LCA. We've got 2 2025 workers on site. Okay, it's locked. I don't think anyone is here at Tech Bits. All right, Unique Software Solutions have 4 H-1B visas. Let's see if anyone's home. Another locked door. Okay, we're looking for Suite 264. We've done several labs. I don't I don't see a 264. Go this way. Back where we just were. There appears not to be a Suite 264. Can't find Suite 264. Oak Technologies lists Suite 264 as their HQ. Are we like in Harry Potter world? Are we on platform 9 3/4? I don't understand where is this office? So A&A Infosystems is supposed to be at Suite 275. They brought in multiple 2025 workers that are supposed to be on site. 7 H-1Bs were approved in 2025 for this company. And we're here at Suite 275 and there's nobody here. But if you are looking for an office space to rent, I do have one for you. So curiously enough, we went looking for Oak Technologies in the previous building. It wasn't there. We couldn't find the suite. It was a missing suite. But we went to their website, and it turns out they list this building as their new address here at Suite 130. But there's a different company that's here that also happens to be on our list. Oh, there ain't nobody in there, and there is a fucking card table set up again. Super strange that a technology company, two technology companies have just a spare room. Where are the computers? Where are the servers? Where's the technology that's happening here? Most importantly, where are the workers? Okay, here is Suite 175. Now, they had 21 H-1B visas in 2025, and we do have the records that show that they should have workers on site at this location. What do you know? Another locked door. Lights are out, nobody's home. We do have the peephole again. Let's check it out. I don't understand all these tech companies. They have tech in their name, no technology to be found, just a bunch of card tables. So I would say the only winner here are the card table manufacturers. Clearly, they're being bought and placed right in these empty rooms. Oh, we found Oak Technologies. It's not the same suite number that's listed on the address, but here it is. What a recurring theme.
Make sure to go check this out in its entirety at the YouTube channel at Sara Gonzales TX. It's not this one. You got to go subscribe. If you're watching on Sara Gonzales Unfiltered, you got to go subscribe to Sara Gonzales TX. Now, I do want to comment for the people who they thought they had us. They thought they had us. They thought that they caught us going on a weekend because of the business hours that we show on one of the businesses. No, actually, we just grabbed the screen grab. We took the screenshot on the weekend. We've every single time we do this, it's always within business hours. And I would dare any of these companies to try to question that. It's always business hours, and we go multiple different times. We can't find anyone there. So once you start learning like the tells, once you start learning what to look for, it just becomes very, very apparent very quickly when you're looking at these. I mentioned the websites. There are a couple other tells that you can really look for to tell which ones are shady. You can tell the ones that are shady from the ones that are not. And before I even stepped foot in the building for this next one, I just had a feeling about this company. There's another company we discovered in the area with some irregularities. This is Innovative Datalytics Group, LLC, located at 8105 Razor Boulevard in Plano. They've got at least 7 H-1B workers who should be working on site. Let's check it out. Oh, Office Reimagined. That's one way to put it. So Innovative Datalytics stood out because it had no website, which is weird for a company with a bunch of software engineers here on H-1B visas. The visa paperwork listed the company in Suite 78, so we went looking for it, but couldn't seem to find that suite number in the entire building until...
I think we found Suite 78 right here, pretty cramped quarters for 7 workers, wouldn't you say?
So seeing as we couldn't get the public access files from the business location, we tracked down the owner and went to go speak with her at her home.
Hi, I was looking for Uma Devi.
Speaking?
That's you?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Do you own Innovative Datalytics Group?
Yes.
Great. So I know you have some H-1B workers here with LCAs. Where are the workers located?
They're in the office actually, so I'm not sure about the residential address you're asking about.
Where's the office located?
Office is in, my husband is actually taking care of those details.
The Razor Boulevard?
Yeah.
Suite 78?
I don't know.
So it's Suite 78?
I don't know the exact address. I can check with him.
Well, it's interesting because we already checked and that suite is actually just a mailbox. So are the workers located in the mailbox?
No, not.
So where are all the workers?
I'm not sure. That's why I have to
Well,
check with my husband.
but you own the company. You're registered to the state of Texas. The first business owner I've seen that has no idea about her own business.
Telling you guys, you need to go watch this in its entirety. It will make you crazy. Like, you will be infuriated at all of the contradictions, because not only does this woman contradict herself multiple times, and by the way, I do just want to say, I have heard from so many of you who are saying, make sure you look into the H4 EAD and the H-1B combo fraud. Trust me when I tell you, once you watch this video, you will know we're on it. Okay? We are. We've got it. We're looking into it to the best of our abilities. Now, she contradicts herself, I mentioned. You heard her talk about her husband, who, by the way, I don't know about you guys. If I own a business, it's my business, and I know at least basic things like where are the workers officing and where is the address? Very basic things. I know if it's my company. Apparently, this woman has no idea what's going on with her own company that she is registered to in the state of Texas. She's like, actually, my husband handles all that. Actually, I don't know. I'll have to check with my husband. Actually, I don't know. It's my husband handles that. Yeah, my husband's the one who did it all. So we spoke with her husband, who, you're going to be shocked to hear this, completely undercut her story too.
I just was curious about your company, Innovative Datalytics. Where are all of the H-1B workers?
Well, they never came.
They never came.
Yeah, we didn't. We were trying to acquire a software company called Geotech.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing some Informatica. It didn't happen, so we applied for this, and then nothing's happening there. So it's just, nobody's here.
That's not passing the vibe check for me. That's not, again, I mean, I want you guys to go watch the full video and I want to hear from you. But the thing is that in order to believe that these people just never came, there's nobody here. They never came. There were applications and there were visas that were actually sponsored. All of the paperwork, nothing was withdrawn. None of these that we are speaking about were withdrawn. Okay. So in order to believe that the people never came, you would have to believe that this husband and wife combo went through this extremely expensive and laborious legal process to bring in all of these workers just to abandon all of the plans. Like, you would have to believe that at the cheapest rate, it would have cost them $8,000 to get this done. So they paid $8,000 and then got everything approved and then was like, nah, it's fine. We're going to pass. At the upper limit, which is probably more realistic, especially with the way all of this was done, you would have to believe that they spent $36,000 on the upper end to go through all of this process only to just not have the workers come. And that just doesn't make sense to me. That is not something that seems reasonable. And I watched enough Judge Judy in my day, okay? And I know that typically, if it doesn't make sense, it's because it's not true. That is something that I have always, I'm not kidding, I did hear it on Judge Judy once, but it did stick with me because I was like, oh, actually, I use it with my kids all the time. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I just don't think it's true. I actually don't think it's true. I know that you're lying. And it's never led me astray. That doesn't make sense. But this in and of itself is already just a giant piece of the much bigger problem, because we need the government to wake up to this. The fact that we have a process in which they could bring people in or not, we wouldn't know. So how come this process is meant to be transparent? It is meant for you to go to these businesses and ask them for their public access files, and that's great. But if you can't prove that the workers actually came here, what are you supposed to do about it? There are so many holes in this system that, by the way, all of these foreign nationals already know and are already heavily exploiting. So all I'm saying is that the H-1B visa program should have been completely shut down yesterday. And every single one of these H-1B visas that are current and active need to be heavily audited. Heavily audited. We need an influx. You know what? With as much money as they steal from my taxes and blow it on bullshit, I would love for them to I would love it. I'd be totally fine with it if I knew that it was going my hard-earned money that I was earning and the government was stealing. Every time I realize I'm a contract worker, I'm not a W-2, so I don't get it taken out of my paycheck. I have to literally write a check to the government. Every time I write a check to the government, it would feel at least a little bit better knowing that they were putting it towards bringing in more USCIS workers to audit all of these H-1B visas to make sure that there isn't fraud. Like, I don't buy the argument that we don't have enough skilled workers in America and we're having to import all of these software engineers. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, in my experience with all of these people that I'm talking to who can't keep their stories straight, we're not importing the best of the best. All right. We're importing scammers. And these scammers clearly are taking advantage of our systems and being so arrogant about it right in front of our faces. And you'll notice something else. A lot of you in the comments, I already noticed that you picked up on this. These houses that we're going to for all of these curious abnormalities with these H-1B workers and these massive software companies that seem to sponsor all of these people, they always live in very nice homes and very nice neighborhoods. Look at that. Wouldn't you too like to be able to afford to live in a home like that? Wouldn't you too like to enjoy the American dream? Oh, sorry, you can't, because a bunch of foreign nationals are coming and taking up all of your housing and stealing your jobs. And I'm done with it. And we're going to keep sounding the alarm and we're going to keep exposing it. And let me tell you, I am so excited because from here on out, it is smooth sailing with confronting so many of these people. They're like Marvel villains to me. I can't wait. I would say the names, but my producer would kill me. But we've got the names of these. They're like gangs, they're like mafia members, and they all work together. And there's this tangled web that they weave that we are uncovering, and it's going to just continue to be more and more massive. So make sure that you are subscribed over there, Sara Gonzales TX. Make sure you're subscribed here as well. You want to catch the full show, obviously. Smash the like button, comment. It'll help us in the algorithm, which we all know is stacked against us. Want to thank our sponsor, PreBorn. So PreBorn is a joy to partner with, actually. I'm so proud that they are a sponsor of my show because with PreBorn, what they do is very different than what happens when a woman who has an unplanned pregnancy and she's scared and she walks into a Planned Parenthood clinic and she's told all sorts of lies. She's being pressured to make an irreversible decision in the moments of fear or panic. They're like, you can't afford this baby. Oh, wait, no, I'm just kidding. It's not a baby. It's a clump of cells. Here, let us take it. You won't regret a thing. It'll be fine. You'll feel much better in the morning. All of this is a lie. What PreBorn's network of clinics are doing is very simple. They are showing these women the truth on ultrasound. They're letting the woman listen to the heartbeat. And in that moment, that woman, more than 80% of the time, when a mother sees her baby on a PreBorn ultrasound, she chooses life. It's that simple. It is that simple. Listen, ultrasounds cost money, $28 to be precise. And we're just asking, how many babies can you help us save? This March, PreBorn is trying to save 6,800 babies. It's going to take 124 partners saying yes every day. So my ask is, how many babies can you help us save? $28 is one ultrasound. $140 helps 5 mothers. That's 5 babies' lives saved because of you. You can go to preborn.com/Sara to donate. That is preborn.com/Sara. Obviously, we had a primary night in Texas, and there was a lot that transpired. So let's talk about it. Attorney General Ken Paxton got one step closer to finally getting John Cornyn out of office. The dinosaur John Cornyn, rhino John Cornyn, out of office where he belongs. He needs to be put out to pasture. And there is now going to be a runoff between John Cornyn and Ken Paxton. And I would just like to, let's just play some of this stream of Paxton's watch party.
Well, you know, John Cornyn said he was concerned about a bunch of radicals who were going to show up to vote today. It looks like you all showed up.
So I don't know if you guys noticed the cameo. Did you notice the cameo? If we could just, yeah, there. Hey, there we are, Steven. Look.
Yep.
We're there. We were there.
We were.
Okay, guys, I have to tell you a little bit of inside baseball here. I was up on that stage and I turned to everyone behind us and I was like, listen, hold. You just follow my lead, okay? We're going to be excited because we're going to be on TV. And I don't feel like they did not understand.
They did not. And she absolutely said that.
I did. I was like, listen. Yeah, this is not for the crowd right there. This is who was very hyped up, the crowd in front of us, in the audience. This is for the cameras.
Like, we pulled the wrong people up.
Yes.
We pulled the wrong people up.
For real. I was just like, guys, where is the energy? I get it. It's like, it's been kind of a long night and everyone's tired, but like, look alive here, people. They did not understand the assignment, but we did. Okay. We did. And so it was an honor to speak at Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's event. I'm going to be honest, like I didn't think John Cornyn would get as many votes as he did. However, he certainly should not feel emboldened at all. It was not a decisive night for him at all, which is why it is so frustrating that today's news is that President Trump now wants to get involved in our runoff in the state of Texas. And I'm going to be real clear with you as I walk through this, as I navigate through this. No one, like you could find me few people who have been so outspoken for this president. I've obviously been a huge supporter of this president, despite being called all sorts of things. So I'm not going to be accused of like going anti-Trump, but what I will say is I take personal offense to anyone within the federal government who wants to try to come in and manipulate a Texas election. I don't appreciate it. Now President Trump wants to pick the winner. He posted on Truth Social today, both John and Ken ran great races, but not good enough. Now this one must be perfect. My endorsements within the Republican Party have been virtually insurmountable. It is such an honor to realize and say that almost everyone I endorse wins and wins by a lot, especially in Texas. I will be making my endorsement soon and will be asking the candidate that I don't endorse to immediately drop out of the race. Is that fair? We must win in November. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So the rumor on the street is that it's Cornyn. In fact, I mean, as of the time of this taping, it has not been. But the way that the president posted this Truth Social post made it sound like this endorsement was imminent. Now, I have a couple questions about that. Number one, why would you post that an endorsement was imminent? If you have an endorsement, just give it. And why didn't you make that endorsement before the primary? Like if someone is your guy, which it should be Ken Paxton, because there is no one who has been more loyal to the president in an official position and capacity than Ken Paxton. He took a bunch of political daggers for it too, when it came to the 2020 election that we all know was not the safest and most secure election of all time. So to have the president saying he is going to immediately call for whoever he does not endorse to step out of the race and to hear the rumors that the person that he is about to endorse is going to be John Cornyn is extremely troubling to me. It is extremely troubling to me, especially when let's just look at the voting results from last night alone. By the way, as of the time of this taping, I do believe that there are still some votes out there. So these are estimates, okay? But when we were able to pull them right now, as we are taping, John Cornyn, total votes, 864,861. Now that is out of a total of all of them, over 2 million votes. So 2,072,580. All right. Out of those, John Cornyn only got 864,000, almost 865. We'll give him that. We'll round up for John Cornyn. Okay. He needs the help. That's obviously not a majority. That's why they're going into the runoff. So just let's just do simple math here. Total votes over 2 million. All of the other people combined who voted against John Cornyn is 1.2 million, which is a higher number than John Cornyn received. Now, the difference between the amount of votes that John Cornyn got and the amount of votes that Ken Paxton got is what? 15,000? 16,000? I'm sorry. And the other guy and Ken Paxton should drop out over that many votes, especially when you consider, look at Wesley Hunt right there. Especially when you consider that you're talking about a difference of a handful of votes. Well, Wesley Hunt in and of himself got 278,065 votes just for him. You want to combine Ken Paxton and Wesley Hunt because these were the top three contenders. Ken Paxton, John Cornyn, and Wesley Hunt. If you take Paxton and Hunt combined, which were both very strong votes against John Cornyn, you have over 1.1 million votes. So over 1.1 million voters voted for Ken Paxton or Wesley Hunt, both of which were a vote against John Cornyn. John Cornyn did not even crack 1 million. And you mean to tell me that President Trump should endorse someone who did not receive nearly 60% of the Republican electorate voted against John Cornyn last night. And that was after John Cornyn spent almost $100 million when you count up how much his PAC spent and how much his campaign spent. $100 million by John Cornyn only to barely get that many votes? Only to show that the overwhelming majority of Texas Republicans don't want John Cornyn? Texas Attorney General Paxton spent a fraction of the money that John Cornyn spent. $4 million Ken Paxton spent. $4 million, $4 measly million to John Cornyn's Senate super PAC bullshit fund where he just gets to spend endless amounts of money. Think about how far that money could have gone in some other state's race rather than trying to save this rhino, shitty Republican John Cornyn. Now, take the voting results aside for a moment, because that in and of itself is enough for President Trump to say, I'm not going to get involved and interfere in Texans' elections. They have a runoff for a reason. Let it play out. In and of itself, set that aside, okay? Let's also dive into, I know if you live in Texas, you've seen these commercials that are like, John Cornyn sides with President, John Cornyn votes with President Trump 99% of the time. John Cornyn stands with President Trump at the border. You're gonna be shocked to hear it's all lies. It's all manipulation and deceit. And on top of that, John Cornyn was about as anti-Trump as you could get before it was beneficial to pretend like he likes President Trump. So just to remind everyone, this was John Cornyn about the 2024, this is not 2020, this is not 2016, this is the 2024 election. Here's what John Cornyn had to say about President Trump's potential presidential run. Watch.
John Cornyn, the Texas Republican, says former President Donald Trump cannot win the 2024 general election for president and that the GOP needs to find a candidate who can actually win. In a call with Texas reporters today, Senator Cornyn said, quote, I think President Trump's time has passed him by. Oh. He goes on to say, I don't think President Trump understands that when you run in a general election, you have to appeal to voters beyond your base.
This guy is as anti-Trump as you can get. I could go on. If I had the time, I would do an entire show of just receipts about John Cornyn shitting all over Trump's border policy, saying it's naive to think that you could build a border wall. I mean, I could go on. This guy is not America first. He is only playing the part to get through the primary. And so for President Trump to even think for 1 second that he should stab one of his most loyal supporters in the back to go for this guy? No. He would lose a lot of respect from me, and I know he would lose a lot of respect from a lot of Texans here who have fought very hard to get that seat back to an actual Republican who will vote for us.
Sarah, can I ask a question?
Sure.
You think Trump likes Mitch McConnell right now and what he's doing?
No.
What do you think John Cornyn's going to do for 6 years when he doesn't have to run again?
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. He's not loyal. He's not going to do what you want him to do if he doesn't feel like it once he gets what he wants. And on top of that, President Trump, John Cornyn gets an F from his Liberty score. He has an F. He's not a conservative. He has a failing grade. He wants amnesty. Let's go through some of his voting record, okay? He passed the Inflation Reduction Act. He wanted to redefine marriage. He funded the endless war in Ukraine. He funded vaccine mandates. He was very quick to pass Joe Biden's massive omnibus bill. And by the way, on top of that, Joe Biden loved John Cornyn because John Cornyn was all for Joe Biden actually trying to go after your Second Amendment rights. John Cornyn was instrumental in Joe Biden's red flag shit. And, by the way, he did vote to confirm Dick Levine for Assistant Secretary of HHS because a guy can't even tell what gender he is. He definitely should be in charge of people's health in this country. I'm trying to be as calm as possible, but I just can't. I can't. Please, for the love of God, President Trump, you'd be better off just sitting this one out. The people of Texas have had enough. We need our seat back. This dinosaur has had it for too damn long. And I got to be honest with you. If you think that just because you post a Truth Social post saying, hey, grassroots conservatives, you should actually vote for the guy that you can't stand, nearly 60% of you guys can't stand, we're not going to do it. And I have a feeling, I don't know it to be a fact, I have a feeling if I know Ken like I think I do, he's not going to drop out. He's the only fighter that we have in this state. He's not going to drop out because you say Texans should just be happy with John Cornyn because he knows that we deserve better. Now, let me just switch over to the Democrat side for a while, just for a moment here. I regret to inform you, Jasmine Crockett she's gone. She's gone. We lost her. We lost her, Stephen. We lost Jasmine Crockett.
I'm really upset about this.
We lost Jasmine Crockett. Now, she didn't die.
No, you're faking like you're not upset about this. I want Jasmine.
No, I am actually upset about it. I did want her. I wanted her to just keep advancing until the general. She was the perfect contender.
She should run as an independent. I really think that there's a market. We'll get into what she says about this, but she absolutely should run. I'd be really worried if she
oh no, Stephen.
Yeah. Oh, did I let it?
Oh, tell her. Oh, no, that would be terrible. Don't do that,
Maybe
Jasmine.
We could get a campaign going of phone calls, that convince her to run as an independent now this time.
Yep.
See if it works again.
Don't do that. So, Jasmine Crockett, she was warned. Do it. Obviously, the NRSC astroturfed her the entire time. We saw this coming, but it was pretty funny to watch her go to her own event where all of her people were expecting to hear from her. And she stormed out because she was like, actually, you're not going to be hearing any more from me tonight. Cause I don't know, people are cheating and let me tell you why it's racist or something. I don't know. Here was Jasmine.
So that's my news, is that we're not going to have election results tonight, in my opinion, based upon what specifically is taking place in Dallas County. Unfortunately, this is what Republicans like to do. And so they specifically targeted Dallas County, and I think we all know why. So I want you to enjoy yourselves, but I won't be back tonight because I have no idea of when we're going to get results.
Okay, so I'm confused. Maybe I'm the dumb one. How did Republicans didn't vote in the Democrat primary? So I'm unclear on how Republicans cheated. I don't know. Like, Orange Man bad. It must be Donald Trump's fault, I get. But she was actually even more petulant than that.
But I can tell you now that people have been disenfranchised.
People have been disenfranchised. People have been disenfranchised. I would say the only people who have been disenfranchised are the people who, you know, would have to suffer having you as their senator. This was I mean, I wanted Jasmine Crockett to just be there up until the very end, but listen, it's a Texas win to get her. She's done. She's fired. She gone. She gone, Steven. She is going to be gone. And I just saying. I'm just saying. She talked about people cheating, which is actually hilarious. Let me first play Jasmine Crockett saying, because again, it's like there was cheating, Republicans were cheating, people were cheating, people are racist, people don't like women, like pick a struggle, Jazz, pick a struggle. Here is her talking about people cheating to keep her out of office.
We encourage each and every one of you to remain resilient. We cannot allow this type of behavior to be rewarded, because so long as they know that they can win, even if it means cheating, then they will continue to do it.
Can we get Jasmine's opinion on the SAVE Act? Because, like, I don't know. Maybe you guys should all support the SAVE Act, and then there'll be no more cheating. It'll be fine. And then Jasmine Crockett could definitely win, because that's definitely what would have happened. Yep. I am sure that would have happened. Now, I would like to just show you guys. I don't know if you caught this. This was actually perfect timing for us. When we were in D.C., we did actually visit my good friend, Jasmine Crockett, everyone's fake ghetto hood rat. We visited her, and we gave her a very timely termination letter from the state of Texas. Here was that.
Of course, we had to stop by and say hi to everyone's fake ghetto hood rat, Jasmine Crockett. And I have a notice for her. You got a pink slip, Jasmine. Notice of termination of employment on November 3rd, 2026. It's because you're an embarrassment and you're a fake ghetto hood rat, actually a spoiled rich kid from Missouri. You can find your final paycheck and benefit information here. And if you do have any questions, please do not reach out. We do not want to hear you speaking anymore. You've been an embarrassment for our state long enough. Also, don't run for Senate. Save yourself the time and the energy. Go do something else. Let's see if she's home. It says welcome. Please come in. Appointments only. Please knock. A little conflicting information there, but it's a Democrat. What do you expect? Hi.
Hi.
Is the Congresswoman here?
She's not available.
She's not available right now. Okay.
Can I take a message?
Sure. Yeah, actually, you can give this to her. This is actually a pink slip from the state of Texas because we don't like her and don't want her to run for Senate.
Okay, well, thank you.
We look forward to her retirement. Thank you so much. Have a great one.
I just thought, like, wow, that was really timely. I delivered her the termination letter. I tried to warn her, and now it turns out she's fired.
She must have got it. She got it. She got it.
The state of Texas fired her. Now she knows. Sorry you had to find out this way, Jasmine. So now, obviously, Jasmine was facing a tough primary with James Talarico. And I realize some of you guys may not be, you're like, oh, why are you focusing so much on the state of Texas? This is the race that everyone in the country is watching and should be watching for very, very good reason. For very good reason. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of an in as to who James Talarico really is. Whoever the Republican candidate is up against, this is who he really is. We're going to dig up his old comments next. First, we want to thank our sponsor, Select Quote. So with Select Quote, I don't know if you guys have thought about thinking about life insurance. It's hard because it's like a little bit morbid because you have to think about leaving your family and what if something terrible happens. But it's actually one of the most important things you can do is make sure that your family is taken care of should something happen to you. So the younger you are, the cheaper it is for life insurance. And it's like double the price if you wait to buy a decade from now. So if you need life insurance and if you only have term insurance with your business, with your employer, that goes away if you change jobs. So check out Select Quote. They've helped over 2 million Americans understand their options and get the coverage they need. Over $700 billion in coverage and counting. And so what they do is they just tailor something directly to you. It's good for you. It fits your needs. And there's up to, in certain cases, up to $2 million worth of coverage, no medical exam required. So I'm just saying, go check them out. Life insurance is never cheaper than it is today. Get the right life insurance for you for less and save more than 50% at selectquote.com/Sarah. That is more than 50% on term life insurance at selectquote.com/Sarah. James Talarico, the new Democrat U.S. Senate candidate, there's been a lot of talk about him. And I think what happened was Jasmine Crockett was so crazy and so bad, just like so stupid, so terrible, so radical, so terrible at speaking, that it made James Talarico look somewhat normal. Maybe he's a moderate Democrat. No, actually, he's not. He's just as crazy. He just packages it differently. Like he's much more polished. He's great at speaking. So it's packaged differently, but with him, it is still the same old Democrat radical nature. So I want to play for you some of James Talarico's own comments. Let me give you his comments on religion.
Is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God is non-binary.
God is non-binary. He is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God is non-binary. That's the guy that people want you to think could beat Ken Paxton in the Texas Senate election. God is non-binary. Oh, yeah, that's totally going to play for Texans. You guys do this every time. Every time you're like, we need a more moderate person because what about this mean, scary Democrat? He's so scary. The guy simps for transgenders, trans kids, by the way.
Trans children are God's children, made in God's own image. There's nothing wrong with them. Nothing at all. They are perfect. They are beautiful, and they are sacred. Bullying children is immoral. It's a sin, a special kind of sin.
That was a lot of flowery adjectives to describe trans children. Someone might want to take a look at his hard drive, maybe. There's a very, very flowery description, adjectives there of speaking of trans children, of minors. By the way, the change everyone's clamoring for, he definitely wants to make sure that all of these trans children need to be able to get abortions as well, which I don't try. It's going to hurt. It's going to break your brain a little bit. Just listen.
Before we go further, I want to acknowledge that our trans community needs abortion care too. Defending trans Texans is something we have to do every day at the state capitol. And you better believe I'll be giving sermons on that too.
Oh, great. I can't wait for those sermons. So now trans kids are beautiful. These trans kids are beautiful and sacred and holy. And by the way, they need abortions. James, are you planning on getting them pregnant? I'm just wondering, like, are you telling on yourself right now? This is the very strange lane to be in. And this guy, he considers himself a pastor. I would consider himself a demon. But he claims to be, like, he's a Christian. That's why you see him at an LGBTQ church. Big Christian, this guy. And he tries to say that the Bible actually justifies abortions. And the mental gymnastics here are quite a sight to see.
But I say all this in terms in context of abortion because before God comes over Mary and we have the incarnation, God asks for Mary's consent, which is remarkable. I mean, go back and read this in Luke. I mean, the angel comes down and asks Mary if this is something she wants to do. And she says, if it is God's will, let it be done. Let it be. Let it happen. So to me, that is an affirmation in one of our most central stories that creation has to be done with consent. You cannot force someone to create. Creation is one of the most sacred acts that we engage in as human beings.
James, can I call you James? That consent is done when the pee-pee goes in. That's the consent, sir. Like when you do the act, that's the consent. That you may end up pregnant. That's kind of the whole thing. Very, very disturbing that he's trying to manipulate the Bible into saying, yes, actually, God calls you to be able to kill your babies in your womb. That's incredible. Now, I could go on, but I do want to, I want to congratulate my friend Steve Toth, who also in the state of Texas won his primary against our deeply hated Congressman Dan Crenshaw here in the state of Texas, which I'll just read you really quickly. Nick Sorter had a really great tweet. There's no way Dan Crenshaw saw this loss coming tonight. He was totally blindsided. I'll just leave that where it is. So Dan Crenshaw, you're fired. Jasmine Crockett, you're fired. Valentina Gomez. Some of you who watch my show might think like, oh, she's great. She's not. She's a grifter. She only moved here to try to run because she can't make it anywhere else. I hope she leaves the state of Texas. We don't need her here. Okay. And so there were some positives that came out of last night's election. Please, President Trump, listen to us. Please do not interfere. We know what we're doing. All right, we'll be right back. By the way, I want to congratulate Dan Crenshaw. He can finally be the DJ that he always wanted to be. And this is him in his office DJing with alcohol bottles everywhere. So I can't imagine why he lost. I can't possibly imagine why he lost. Oh, Dan, it's a tough but necessary lesson.